Assalamu Aleykum wa Rahmatullah wa Barakatuhu, my beautiful women of Qur'an now. Welcome to another video. This is your Ustaza and life coach, Umm Yahya, and this week we are going to go into how the Qur'an makes you secure and confident. SubhanAllah, we saw last week how we could get sakina and focus, and one of them is checking within ourselves. And when we check with ourselves, we could very much, if we are insecure and we have, attachment styles that we're struggling with, we could really be chained and not have a good identification of who we are. Like we will not be able to know who exactly we are. But when we are defining ourselves based on Quran and Sunnah, we get clarity, we get confidence, and I just want to share with you a bit of Tadabbur with that in mind. Assalamu Aleykum wa Rahmatullah. So we are in surah Shu'ara today, and I want to talk about triggers. So this is Musa salam facing Fir'aun after, he came back after fleeing Egypt because, he had accidentally killed a man and he was wanted. So he left, and then years later, Allah made him a prophet. He comes back and he is facing Fir'aun. And so Fir'aun says to him, "Did we not raise you among us as a child, and you remained among us for years of your life?" Like he's reminding him of favors, right? "And then you did your deed, which you did, and you were of the ungrateful." So then, he knows Musa salam has values, may have remorse. And so Musa salam could be on the defensive, but look at the way he responds. Musa salam said, "I did it while I was of those astray." I didn't know I was astray at the time. "So I fled from you when I feared you. Then my Lord granted me wisdom and prophethood and appointed me as one of the messengers." Look at the honor and the dignity of Musa salam. Allah honored him. And so now that Allah, if the Lord of the heavens and the earth has no issues with you, then it doesn't matter who has issues with you. And that's one of the beautiful moments, like when you are secure within yourself. When you are secure within yourself, what happens? People trigger you less. Because people are going to come. They're going to look at your weaknesses. They're going to make you want to feel guilty. They're going to reproach. They're going to remind you of favors. They're going to try to control you. But when you are secure within yourself, you're not triggered. You're not overreacting. You're not making it personal, and that makes a total difference in you getting clarity of the situation. And this is why after that, in the whole passage between, Musa salam and Fir'aun keeps trying to deviate him from his course, but Musa salam stays focused on the da'wah. He stays focused and he keeps going, subhanallah, until then when there's no other way, then Fir'aun now brings in force and threatens him. Basically, when you are secure, you're able to see things clearly, you're able to make decisions from a place of security, from a place of sakina. You are stronger. When you are insecure, you get triggered. Any little thing will make you feel intensely, and once your emotions are completely involved, then the ability for you to reason lessens. From that day is to believe it's possible. Yeah, I think to believe it's possible, period. To believe it's possible. The same Lord that made it happen for Musa salam can make it happen for us. It's the same exact Lord. The Lord has not changed. Allah is still Allah. And He's actually Al-Fatah. He opens what is locked. What is closed is what He opens. And so whenever we find a way that is locked or closed, or we're facing a closed door and we don't see a way out, it's the same Lord that made a way out of. When there was no way out, He made a way out. So I think the biggest lesson for me is it's possible, because it's the same Lord. Nothing is impossible. Nothing whatsoever in this life is impossible for Allah. But Musa alayhi salam, he didn't have to see a way out. He just knew that the one who can make a way out told him to be here. And so it's possible. Once we are obeying Allah, once we are holding on to Allah, once we trust Allah, it is possible. That's all we need to know. It is possible. And I just feel like Musa alayhi salam being the only one in the tafsir, Musa alayhi salam is the one speaking, but there are a few people on his side. Like in the tafsir it says there's the men who believed among the family of Fir'aun, which he is. There's a surah named after him, Surah Mu'min, or Surah Ghafir. And there's also there's a Yusha, not his name. There's him, and there's Harun. So there, I think 3 or 4 of them are like with Musa, like believing that something is going to happen. And then the rest of Bani Israel are thinking they're doomed. And I just feel like this is the minority. And so the minority will always think that Allah is going to make a way, but the majority will not. And it's hard when you are among the minority. If you're surrounded by people who think it's not going to happen, thinking about that and thinking that, but if she's surrounded by people who will say, you never get a husband this way. How are you going to get a husband? How are you going to get a job? It's just going to reinforce her doubts and her fears and her worries. But if she is, we have to trust Allah and we have to believe it's possible. And that's the biggest lesson for me personally for the day of Ashura, that it is possible. All right, sisters, you have gotten a taste of Tadabbur of Qur'an, meaning based on the tafsir of Surah Shu'ara. There were some reflections that I had, and I just shared some of them with you. It's a surah that is full of gems, full of lessons, but the Qur'an is full of gems and full of lessons. And Qur'an is something, is really, the speech of Allah, the noble speech of Allah is really what is going to heal us. Allah calls it shifa. He calls it huda. It's what is going to redirect us on the right path when we find ourselves lost. And like I mentioned, insecurity, depending whether you had childhood trauma or whatever it is, a situation in your life that really, really wounded you. Trauma is just an unhealed wound. And when you are in the process of healing this wound, you need to have the right information about who you are, the right information about what your potential is, the right information about where you're heading. And Qur'an brings us that correct information, the truth to hold on to. You've seen how Musa salam, because he was honored, because he was guided, he was able to stand in front of Fir'aun and basically tell him who the Rabb is, who the real Rabb, the real Lord of the heavens and the earth is. And he was able to do that because he had defined himself based on what Allah had defined him. At first, when Allah sent him to Bani Israel and Fir'aun to tell Fir'aun to free Bani Israel, Musa salam was full of fear and some doubts. I'm listed, I'm wanted, I have this speech impediment. But Allah told him, no, go, I am with you, hearing and seeing. And so this gave confidence to Musa alayhi salam. Now, we have the speech of Allah. So when we read these ayat, when Allah says, I am with you, hearing and seeing, when Allah says, do not fear, when Allah says, you will be on top, when Allah says, the shayateen will never be the winning party, they will be the losing party. All of these helps us to readjust and to believe and to, recenter and build that confidence and that security within ourselves. I pray this was really beneficial to you. If you want to do Qur'an Plus coaching with me, which is a package that I have at Women of Qur'an Now platform, I have one-on-one Qur'an Plus coaching packages. I have group Qur'an Plus coaching packages. Click on the link below. You will have a link that will show you all the different packages that involve coaching and Qur'an, because we can't be coached without the wisdom, without the guidance of the Qur'an. So I will see you inshallah in another video next week bi'idhnillah. Any good is from Allah, any mistake is from me. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.